Hope you're doing well. In today's video, we'll continue with a series of using price actions to taking informed decisions on indexes and stocks. And the stock that I have today under the scanner is Marico. The reason for selecting this particular stock is because if you're trading in the markets, it's 10:14 a.m. at the time I'm recording. I might be able to upload it only later in the day, but I'm not too sure. Having said that, if you are aware of the ongoing news in the market, we would know that the income tax department has conducted a survey on Marico offices, which obviously is largely negative on any particular stock. The question now remains is that is this going to be an opportunity? Should we short? Should we long? What should be a view on the stock given this development? So as usual, we'll continue with our same process, which is repeatable and consistent. We'll first set the chart up on the monthly time frame just to have a look at the structural trend of Marico. And it is without ambiguity. We will see that the previous month Marico created a life high of 759. Even though it did not decisively break the high that it created in February, which is 737, it struggled around this level. We can see multiple tests. So because it has struggled around this level, I'm obviously going to use my discretion and simply connect it with an arrow, with a ray here. I'll darken it a little bit. And but having said that, the trend is still up. The previous higher bottom is around these levels at 580. The stock is trading significantly above its previous bottom, which means that if purely this chart were used, the stop loss would be quite far, not making it very interesting to take a long trade on this particular chart. So on this chart, it looks like the trend is up, but there is no sufficient risk reward, so to speak, in our favor in order to look at price, in order to decide on an entry. So we'll continue with this long bias and shift, because obviously there's no question of shorting a stock just because it is struggling near a high. If it's in an uptrend, then we will assume that we are going to buy some dip, and there should be a dip. It should be reasonable. There should be some support, etc. That's what we'll try to assess. We take this bias onto the weekly, and we see that this is obviously in a range, and on the weekly the potential, it's just a potential weekly a lower channel is forming here, and this is the potential on the weekly. The upper channel obviously we have drawn from the monthly. Now a security which is trading in a channel is obviously in a range, and trading in a channel with strong sell-off as is happening right now, coming pretty close to the low, we have to anticipate a break of this, at which point there could be a sharp buy-in opportunity in order to send the security back into the range, and obviously this point 760 would then become like a reasonable target. But having said that, this securities and this kind of a chart structure does not look really exciting. It's a dull chart structure. So even though there is a negative news, it has come pretty close to the high of the stock, and there is no real very strong bullish pattern, so to speak. The channel is what it is, a channel. It is expected that the security will remain within this channel for a very long time. And we'll move this to the daily charts, and we'll have a look at what's happening on the price. Of course, this is currently happening. It is reacting to the news as we speak, but the volume therefore has to build. But we are not seeing like some significantly large amounts of volume in this. In fact, we are not seeing large amounts of volume anywhere. If I really look back, then obviously the anchor bar that we refer to comes right here. So for example, I'll just draw a horizontal line here and here. This is a strong anchor. I'll just darken this here so that you can visualize. This is a very strong anchor, because the reason why we are saying this is a strong anchor is because massive price change happened with a lot of volume. So the volume here is 13.8 million for a day, where the average volume is 2.5. This is 6 times the standard volume. So which means to break this low of 647, a lot has to happen on Marico, a lot. And 686 also will be a very strong support. This particular channel low does not really look very exciting. It looks vulnerable to false breaks, and it is somewhere around here that one could maybe look at bottom fishing. And once this low is created, then there needs to be a bullish harami, and it needs to send it back into the range. So you're buying into the range by selling 700 put. But at the moment, having said that, based on price alone, based on the current news, the kind of chart structure, after having assessed the structural trend, it looks like Marico is a stock that we will ignore. The objective of these particular presentations is to educate you on the process of decision making using price action. And just because we have picked up a chart does not mean that we are going to say buy it now. This is purely academic. This is how one thinks, and the idea was that, since I have some time available, the stock is in news. Why not use this as an example to communicate a few points on this subject? Because the more charts we go through, the better it becomes for us. In fact, I was just speaking to someone yesterday, and they asked me that how can they improve their trading, and I gave them a very simple answer, which I will also share with you, is that at least 10,000 charts need to go through your eyes. You need to train yourself in order to be able to rely on your intuition. Your reliance on your intuition needs to be backed on some hard work. And if 10,000 charts have to go through your eyes, and it is my view that the first 2,000 charts have to happen like within the first 3 to 4 months. So you have to spend a lot of time looking at the charts and the price. So you are so that you have the confidence to be able to bet maybe a lot of money or your income source on this. So yeah, with that message, I hope this video has been of some use to you. I wish you the best for the remainder of the week. Thank you for your time. Take care.